I'm glad that you've been one of the senators who's been speaking out against corporate cronyism in America. And I want to tell you about a story I read yesterday in the news about Stephen Hadley, who used to be the National Security Advisor, and he's one of these people who's out beating the drums for more aerosols. But he's also getting paid $250,000 a year as a member of the board of directors for Raytheon Corporation, which is the company that's selling the Tomahawk cruise missiles to our government. So what I want to know from you, and maybe Scott, you'd like to comment as well, is how do we keep the influence of these self-interested corporations that actually profit when we go to war from being the ones who are leading the charge, telling our government what to do, and getting away with it?
Well, irrespective of who's building what, I think it's a bad idea for the United States to reduce its military capabilities. Now, obviously, we do rely on private companies to develop many of these systems, and but that's not what motivates me to be in support of it. Here's what motivates me in support of a strong national defense. Every single time in our history that we have reduced our military and our military capability, we've had to make up for it, and it's cost us even more money in the long term. So if you think about it today, it's not just about being able to address the threats that we face today. It's about being able to address threats 10 years from now. All of this technology that we're using today, that we read about, the U.S. has these battlefield advantages because of technology. These things took a decade or longer to develop. So in many instances, when you reduce military expenditures today, what you're actually reducing is your capability to address new threats in the future at a time when the Chinese are expanding their military capabilities at an alarming pace. One minor example that doesn't get talked about enough. The Chinese are now heavily investing in anti-space weapons, meaning the ability to knock a U.S. satellite out of space, right out of the sky. And that's problematic because, as anyone who served in the military will tell you, we rely heavily upon our technological advances on everything from targeting to logistics. If they're able to knock out our satellites and we have no defense for it, that puts us at an enormous disadvantage. And the Chinese are rapidly expanding in their capabilities in that regard. So I don't know that particular case you pointed to, and I'm certainly not motivated to support strong national defense on the basis of helping any company or corporation. But I do believe that the United States must remain the most powerful, most effective fighting military force on the planet. We should never, ever be in a fair fight, ever. The U.S. should have